Call to order December 23rd, 2025 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. Start out with a roll call. Dan Dale,
Here.
Patty Lingle,
Here.
Amanda Lyons, Mark Mylum, Joe Vogel.
Here. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Dan Dale as chairman tonight.
Second.
Alright. And do a roll call for that. Dan Dale,
Abstain.
No,
I can't. That'll be a three. I guess I'll say yes.
Patty Lingle,
Yes.
Joe Vogel.
Yes.
Alright. It's all yours.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to this meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. We've already done the roll call and we got minutes to approve.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the minutes as written.
Dan Dale,
Approve.
Patty Lingle,
Approved.
Joe Vogel.
Approved.
There is no old business at this time, so we'll go right into our new business. First item on the agenda is Brandon and Michael Poe.
so, the property in question here for special exception to place a manufactured home in an RL2 zoning district is at, 32 North Lakeview Drive. I'll just zoom out a little bit and then I'll zoom back in. This is, the town of Laketon. This is the Sandy Beach, neighborhood of Sandy Beach. The property sits right on the corner of Lakeside and Lakeview. And Raina and Michael would like to take out the old structure that's there and place a new manufactured home in its place. Any manufactured homes in Wabash County that want to be placed on a piece of property are required to go through the special exception process. So they did appear before the Plan Commission, which gave them a favorable recommendation at the start of the month. And so they're here in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals to request a final approval. We have some information in front of the board and their board packets. More or less, with the new setback requirements for the ordinance that are in place. The structure obviously will not be sitting where it's at now, not without a variance. It's just way too close to the property line. Now it'll have to probably be set back somewhere in the location of this area here. We did draw out sort of an area for board members. This area would be the area that they would be able to place a structure if it's approved. There are some stipulations to it. A single family residential structure requires 720 square feet, minimum square feet. And there are other things that go along with manufactured home. Has to be placed on a board foundation. All the wheels, axles, and hitch mechanisms are removed. Have to have skirting underneath it or around the bottom that blends with the exterior of the siding. And have to be anchored to the foundation, and it has to have a gabled roof. Those are requirements per our ordinance, chapter 7, for mobile home, manufactured homes, travel trailers, and such. The one thing that is part of this is alterations to manufactured homes for the purpose of adding to are strictly prohibited. You're not allowed to attach anything to a manufactured or mobile home anywhere in Wabash County. You can't attach a deck to it, can't attach a porch to it, awning, siding, or awnings of any type, anything like that. You cannot put an addition on them anymore either. So anything that's there has to be structurally separate from the actual manufactured home that's there. Past that, we received phone calls from several people, one of which lives really close, had no objections to the request. At this time, that was the only one we had for that structure. I don't know if there's anybody in the crowd, but as of what we received in the office, we had none. I'll turn it over to the board and go from there with any questions you might have.
Brian, does she send pictures to you of the trailer?
No, we do not have a set structure yet
Okay.
of what they're wanting. They wanted to see if they could get this approved first, and obviously, once it is,
I know
And-
that was a requirement to, before they moved it in, send you pictures.
oh yeah, well, it's supposed to, so the requirements that we asked for was it be brand new.
Yeah.
And that we have pictures of what it looks like and things like that. Obviously, they will file a site plan with our office to show us where it's gonna sit on the property. We can check the setback requirements and make sure those are met, that kind of stuff. So
So
we
it is a
will.
new mobile home.
Raina?
Okay, okay. I did not hear you say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it does have a gabled roof, they don't make them any other way.
Yes, anymore, I think it's pretty much standard that it has a gabled roof. Now, it might not be, exactly, five, the 512 roof pitch, but for manufactured homes and, they can, and we've done it. We've asked for variances from those before, but since we don't have one, we don't know what it is yet. So until she brings it in and gives us what we're actually looking for, we don't know whether it's got the right
Okay.
pitch or anything like that. So there could be a chance that Raina will have to be back in front of us for another variance for another reason.
But your plan is you can put it in the offset of the space like you showed.
Yes, I did look at sizes and I think we were talking, like the biggest that we found was 28 by 76. And then the smallest one we was gonna do would have been a 32 by 60.
Those are sizes of a manufactured house,
Yeah.
not a house trailer then.
No, it's a double wide.
Okay.
And not a like single, no.
Does that change anything, Brian?
Not for us. It's still a manufactured home. Setback same, everything would be the same. Gable roof, it'd be required the whole thing on that. So, it looks like even with, the requirements that if she does put in a 77 foot, and you can see the measurements I did there, 76 foot, 35 foot's the minimum setback requirement from the center of the road. So from any roadway, it had to be a minimum of 70 or 35 foot. And then I just went just roughly 75 foot, and this is just a rough idea. And if you then measure from here over to the side property line, you've got 26 feet. So minimum side yard setback in that residential zone for residential structure is 13, so they'd have more than enough room for the structure. And they could also then push it forward even further if they need to, as long as they do not overstep their bounds with the front setback on Lakeside Drive also. So those are 35 foot setbacks, no matter what, from the center of those roads.
You have city water and city sewer, is that right?
Mhm.
Won't be a problem attaching to a new home and a new location, or I'm
No,
sure it could be done.
It would be required for us, no matter what, to get a letter from the sewer district to make sure that they can hook up to it anyways. That's one of our
They
things.
run up with sewer and water most all of the streets.
Yes.
Yeah, out here, it's all, there's sewer all throughout the neighborhoods here.
Any questions from you guys? Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'm ready for a motion, I guess.
I'd make the motion we approve it.
Second.
Dan Dale,
Approved.
Patty Lingle,
Approve.
Joe Vogel,
Approve.
Very much. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
16. That was good.
Okay, second on the agenda, we have Multani 2 LLC.
Yeah, so, this is application, SE 25013, at 240 North Chippewa Street in, town of Rowan. And, the request here is to, for a special exception to operate a packaged liquor store in a building currently used as a convenience or gas station. And I'll zoom into the property itself. This is the property right on the corner of State Road 16 and Chippewa Street. The owner did come in and request the approval from the Plan Commission, which they did receive a favorable recommendation. Thank you. With this request, the building or structure that's there for the audience will sort of be split in half. The eastern half will be the area they're looking to use for a packaged liquor store. The west side will be the portion that they would like to keep using as a convenience store. I think board members have copies of some drawings and things that we did receive from the owner, representative of the owner. And when it comes time, again, we do have some information about some adjoiners who did call in the office and give us some information that we need to read at the meeting here. And there's other information in here. I think we gave you some bullet points from the actual ordinance. More or less stating when a building or premises has been changed or is changed, expanded, or converted to a new or an intensive different use. Legal non-conforming status is lost, and for the affected development standards, and the site must be brought into compliance. So we've gone back and forth with the owner and the owner's representative about the parking and the ADA requirements and things like that. We still think they're a little short in those areas. We would still like to see more information on that. I know there are probably legally enough spaces for everything the way it sits if they were to get approved for this. The problem with that is when you have deliveries or things like that, gas trucks come in, things like that, which I think we've taken some pictures of and shown. Those parking spaces are pretty much non-use at that time because they take up too much of the room for pumping the gas and the tanks and things like that and where they're located. So it's a little difficult here to try to retrofit this site to what they're wanting to do, and we're hoping there's something we can, something that we can approve here that would help them out in this case. It's just a little difficult, like I said, with a site this small and not having to, with the building set right in the center of the site again. It's a little tough. If it was set back a little further, they have a little more room for things, and it's just a difficult spot that they're in the way that everything sits right now.
Looks like your hours of operation are 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. So gas truck could come in the morning with no problems, I would
Yeah.
assume.
before that.
Yeah, I don't know, we need to make that.
But that, would that
stipulation.
be, yeah, but would that be just for the liquor store?
So the liquor, yeah,
The
that's,
convenience store would still be open before that, right?
yeah.
Which this is a gas station convenience store that's been in operation for decades. And it, I mean, no matter. Obviously, no matter what happens, but from the vote that would be taken today, a gas station convenience store will continue to operate at this location.
Well, you're concerned the pumps are on the fuel storage on the west side that comes up for your.
It's on the north, they're on the north side, right on the north side of the building.
North and back. Toward the back.
No, they're right here, right on the north side of the building.
Okay. And why can't that truck not park there? He's got that egress and exit here on that side. He could pull right in there and dump there, couldn't he?
Right, but I mean, there's pictures in here, you can sort of see, these are pictures that were taken of trucks recently doing the exact thing we're looking at. And in doing so, they're either taking up all the pumps, the area where the pump is, or they're taking up the area in front of the actual building itself, which would hinder anybody from parking there at all. And I know it might not sound like a big thing, but with it being a special exception, those rules are supposed to apply for parking and for loading and loading zones and things like that. Now, obviously, this board, doesn't have to take all that into effect when it's a retrofit building and structure. Those are just the concerns that we had.
You're currently in operation now.
Yeah.
How many times a week do you get tanker fuel?
Once or twice.
Once or twice a week?
You're not adding to the building to make it 10 feet wider one way or the other.
No, and the packaged liquor store portion is about like 1/3 of the building, so it's roughly about 400 square feet. So it's a small footprint of new, products being offered.
Most of the groceries are out front by the cash register.
Yeah, so
and then if you go back, you'll go back to the back or
Well-
back and go in.
So it's actually going to be its own separate suite with separate entrance, because you can't operate a packaged liquor store in the same premises as a grocery store, convenience store, gas station. So it's its own suite, it's got its own mailing address, it's got its own employee. It's a separate business. Basically, it's becoming it's a separate business.
Different cash register.
Different cash register.
Okay.
How long does it take a gas truck to empty?
20-30 minutes.
I really think that's a moot point. When I was doing weights and measures, checking gas pumps, they'd park all over lots. And they may block pumps, they may do whatever they want, but that's pretty mute deal to me.
I get it. We're looking at it from what we see as far as what's required for a new,
You're
and we're just trying to fit that to it. So like I
probably
said,
right, but it's an old.
It is.
business.
it is, and that's why I said that it's gonna be tough to retrofit this no matter what to a current standard.
Well, that's why they asked for a variance.
Yeah.
From what I'm reading, the town's all in favor of this new thing.
So the town did give them a favorable recommendation, and I'll reiterate the fact that I did mention at the plan commission. The one issue that we had with that too was we asked them to go in front of the board and to take this to the town. But at the time, we were told after the meeting that nobody from the town was given a chance to talk at that meeting, for or against it. So that was one issue that we had with it, because that was the whole premise of asking them to go to the town, was to make sure that the town agreed with it in full. And that they do a lot of this ahead of time so that we're not stepping on any toes. when it comes to that. And that, you know, we want them to take a look at this and to go through it as a town. And we've asked that from many other communities, and we just were a little disappointed when we found out that nobody was given the opportunity to speak at that meeting. That's
How many people live in that town?
I think it's about 400.
400.
And Brian, I'd like to make a correction. I mean, my name is Jerry Nelson. I'm also a town board president. All of our meetings, at the end of our meeting, everyone is asked to make any comments that they wish. So wherever that information came from was incorrect. All of our board meetings, we ask anyone to speak.
At the end of the meeting or during the time when
Well,
the
even
application?
well, during the time or right at the end, it makes no difference. We do ask them to state whatever or speak to whatever they want.
Were you at that meeting?
Was I? I
Uh-huh.
was president. I'm president of the town board.
I know that sometimes people aren't there, but
Yes.
were you there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I would also say, so in the alcoholic beverage permitting process, there's a local board process that we met in this very same room way back in March. And that process gives residents the opportunity, you know, if someone wants to remonstrate on a license, they have the opportunity at that meeting. That meeting is, you know, is held, and there's a member of the excise police that kind of chairs it. Then there's representatives from appointed by the county commissioners, the mayor, the county council. So, you know, there has been other opportunities for residents to make their feelings heard. And then, of course, so as an operational gas station, we have the opportunity to submit for petitions
Right.
from residents, and that's what you have in front of you. And I plotted, you know, this is the small half mile across town, and you can see all the different addresses with people signed on saying they were in favor of the project.
And I'm not saying that my thing was I watched the meeting. The vote was taken before anybody was allowed to do that. So the vote was already done before the end of the meeting, where it was asked if anybody had any other issues. It was already a viewpoint at that time. The vote had already been taken.
But you didn't hear from anybody.
Yes. So we had one person that called on the 15th, probably after receiving a letter, and they are not for that. That would be Luella Crom, called and said no. And then we received a hand delivered letter from Mr. Beaver, who's also a town council member, and I'll read that now, if it's okay.
Go ahead.
Very good. I'm writing in support of the application from a small business seeking approval for a special exception request to operate a liquor store in a building partially used as a convenience store gas station. I understand the concerns about protecting Rowan's character as a small family-oriented community. That matters to me as well. Based on what's been presented, this request fits with how our commercial businesses already operate in a similar setting and does not appear to create concerns beyond what is already addressed through existing licensing, age restrictions, and enforcement. The business has gathered strong community support, which I offer only as context. In conversations I've had with residents, many see this as a reasonable step that allows a gas station to stay open, adapt, and remain competitive while continuing to serve the town. A common concern I hear is wanting to keep local businesses viable rather than seeing them disappear as competition from larger retailers increases. As both a resident and a town council member, I try to support decisions that are fair, consistent, and practical for our community. I offer these comments with respect for the board's role and judgment. For those reasons, I respectfully support approval of the application as presented. Neil Beaver.
And then I offered another letter, a support letter from a Mr. Jamie Francis that you guys all have. I can read it if you guys would like me to.
Go ahead. How about it?
Says, dear members of the zoning board, I am writing to express my support for the proposed liquor store to be open in the town of Rowan. I believe this business would provide a valuable and convenient service to our community while contributing positively to the local economy. This country was founded on principles of free market, where local businesses are given the opportunity to serve consumers and compete fairly. Allowing this establishment aligns with those principles and respects the rights of individuals to operate legitimate enterprises within the law. I also wish to note that the owner is an honest and responsible businessman with integrity and desire to bring value to the community. I am confident the store will be operated in a professional manner and in compliance with all applicable regulations. Thank you for your time and consideration. Jamie Francis, 225 Southwest Street, Brooklyn.
Yes. I
Anybody
don't
else?
have
Any more? Okay, anybody from the audience have any comments? Questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, Jennifer Draper, Rowan. So just a little bit of clarification. So in this process, I think it was earlier this year, there were several here that were opposed. And it's been months at the Rowan Town Council and people have come for and against. So there have been both sides, but there have been some against more than just, I guess you didn't have any letter, well, I think one person against. So there has been both. And then to the board meeting and the vote. Perhaps, I don't know, I go to board meetings, I don't know what the format is supposed to be. And maybe they should have asked for people to speak before they voted. But personally, I've always felt, and maybe this is just my perspective, I've always felt at the board meetings, I can say, excuse me, I have a comment before you vote. And I do feel that they would let me speak, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I think we're ready for a motion.
I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve this.
Please go ahead.
I'll take them. If you want me to, I'll take them off your hands.
Dan Dale,
Approved.
Patty Lingle,
Approved.
Joe Vogel,
Approved.
Thanks, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have your receipt for everything too.
Okay.
And we got a lot of here too. Those are the.
That was bad.
Or you had a missing.
Okay, next on our agenda, I'll let you guys have a chance to put it out there.
second catch up on Brian.
Brian and Constance Siri. Exception, a business in a residential zone that's not shown as a permitted use in the zoning ordinance.
Okay,
Right.
so. The property here we're taking a look at. Came before the plan commission, it was given a favorable recommendation, at their meeting. The property itself is pretty much right across the road from Northfield High School. Here's the high school. Here's the property we are actually looking at. Oops. Wrong button. Give me a clear here. Finish clear. This property here. The Searings had recently come in and asked the commissioners to vacate the alley that was here. Previously, the east adjoining owner had done the same with their property, so there is no alleyway here. One of our main concerns with the approval was the entrance and exit. Being that this is State Road 13, close to an intersection. We didn't think it prudent to have traffic stacked or try to ingress and egress traffic from the same intersection. Mr. Searing agreed with that, has since put in a loop driveway that loops around and comes back down onto Washington Street. So the main entrance can then be on State Road 13, but then exit off onto Washington Street. There are pictures of the improvements that he's done to the property already, or you combined that. Along with a layout, of the proposed, area. I don't think that we got no letters, no calls, no anything in, objection of or for, this project from any of the joiners that would have received letters. I guess we'll turn it over to the board.
Why don't you just bring us all up to date, what you got in mind, what you're planning on doing with this? And
So yeah, on the property is already a brand new 2025 barbecue trailer with a barbecue deck on the back. So 20-foot trailer with 4-foot deck or 6-foot deck, 14-foot of cooking space. And I put in the gravel driveway as Brian had suggested to just minimize the flow and back up on 13. People can enter on 13, exit on Washington Street, or even go down to the stoplight that's right there by the school as well. And we're just gonna turn the property into something a whole lot more than what it was. We bought it about 2 years ago. We've really cleared a lot of it out of there, removed old dilapidated buildings, dirt piles, brush piles, trash as well. And put in that driveway, ran power out to the concession trailer. And we're not only just trying to provide, barbecue to the local town, but we're really trying to beautify the property itself. It's just under 2 acres. It's in a really great location. It's got a lot of positive things going for it. I've got probably 2,000 plus thornless blackberries on the property that are nice, neat, organized in rows, and we've got those all cleaned up and organized. We got 11 apple trees. Got a really nice greenhouse. Of course, the wife wants her little cottage shed, and then the barbecue trailer. So we're trying to create not only a place to stop and grab something quick to eat, but almost like a scenic drive as you kind of pass through the property between the garden shed and the apple trees and everything else that we kind of got going on there. And just put something there in Spikerville.
so that is your residence too?
Yes.
You're open Thursday through Saturday, 11 to 7, and then Sunday, 11 to 4.
That's the plan, and it might even be a little less at
Okay.
first.
It's gotta cater to the teachers.
I gotta cater to the
And you
teachers.
pull off the 13 with, then do you get out of your car and order, do you have a window?
You'll get out of your car and then walk up to the concession trailer to order.
In the summer, can you eat there on picnic
You know-
tables, or you take your food and go?
We've considered putting a couple places to just sit down and eat quickly, but we're not trying to offer like a sit-down restaurant.
Okay.
Because then I gotta get into restrooms and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
It is more to go, but for the guys that are on lunch, yeah, I want them to be able to not sit in their work truck. Sit down at maybe a picnic table or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so
just-
a few seats would be
Didn't
nice.
feel it. I thought your driveway looked wonderful. I did look at that and coming out.
We did a lot of work on that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all I want to know. That's all.
Looking forward to it.
Any questions? You guys? Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments on this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
We've got a motion and a second.
Dan Dale,
Approve?
Patty Lingle,
Approve.
Joe Vogel.
approved.
Congratulations.
Thank
Good luck.
Thank you,
Merry
folks.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I'm gonna wait all day, so.
I go home and fire at the smoker.
He's smoking turkey.
That's right, we
Can't
we
afford
get
to
the
give it away.
samples.
Sam.
For sure. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And next on the agenda is the Nicholas Palmer requests the variance from a development standard to place a shed closer to the property line been permitted by the zoning ordinance.
Okay. This, this property is in LeGros. Right near the old canal, backside of the canal. The ball diamond's here, the town hall's here. Mr. Palmer's residence is here. I was with the town at the time. We noticed Mr. Palmer had built a shed on the property. In an area, the pictures that you have sort of show it better, along with the survey that's shown on page 60 of your booklet. There's an old foundation already there. Very dangerous foundation because it is on the side of a hill. There is a picture in there, you can sort of see a Google Earth image on page 62. It doesn't do it justice as to how deep and how far that area is down. Mr. Palmer just placed a shed over the top of what was already there. Did not pour a new foundation, just fixed what was there and put a shed over the top of it. When we came by the town and I came by, we stopped and talked to Nick and just said, hey, come on in, give us a lowdown of what's going on, which we did. In the meantime, as you can see by the survey, we found out that a portion of this property, these buildings and structures are actually in the roadway. The roadway is owned by the town of LeGros. So as you can see later on, the town of LeGros gave him a consent to encroach onto their right of way. We can't, as a board, give them a variance to encroach onto the town's roadway. So because his structure is closer than the 35 feet required, the minimum setback requirement, as you can see on the survey, the Washington Street has a 66-foot wide right of way, 33-foot halves, which means he would have to place it 2 foot behind his right of way to be within the setback requirements. It's actually 2 foot in front of it. So this is a different situation where we can grant him a variance, I think, Mark, if I'm doing this right, for the area between the right of way and whatever he is deficient in as far as the setback requirements, but not from that point into the roadway that's owned by the town. That's the reason for the consent of the encroachment by the town. So Mr. Palmer went to the town, they approved it, they gave him the okay to do this, they're fine with it. As a matter of fact, there's other structures on down the road that are all in the same boat. Almost every house there is in the right of way or has a structure in the right of way. And so I think you said, are they going to go ahead and try to do the same thing with some of those other structures now?
I can't.
There's a possibility that they're going to do that with them also, to at least, do that. Now, their grandfathered structures that are there. Mr. Palmer was putting in a new structure. It's a shed. I get it, but it needs to comply with the new ordinance when it is a structure like that. We, as a matter of fact, we like the fact that he put it on the old foundation to keep anybody from falling in, because that was a pretty big. What do you think that was?
It was a 12-foot drop.
Yeah.
It's concrete at the bottom. It's a
Straight
concrete
down.
floor. There's kids ride their bike out there all the time. And, I had to wait till I had the money together and I was gonna put something over it. And I figured a structure would help the property and keep it safe as well. So,
yeah. So he's actually asking for that. And because the structure was only 2 foot from the east property line, he's requesting 2 different variances, a 2 foot, a variance for 2 feet from the front to be within the 35 foot. So he could get his setback from the front. So he'd have to add another 2 feet from the right of way in, and then the 13 foot on the side. So he would be asking for an 11 foot on the side. The foundation's already there. So no matter what, the foundation was there. He just placed it over the top of it. We as we didn't have an issue with it in the office. Obviously, it's making things a little safer out there. And it is an after the fact permit, but we don't have a problem with anything in the office as long as the board approves the variance.
Just a question, is Washington Street an improved road?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think it has curbs on it, but it does have, on the north side, it's got sidewalks, it's just paved.
Okay, that's fine. I don't have anything else.
Me neither.
Any comments from the audience? If not, I think we're ready for a motion.
So do we have make a motion to approve 2 feet?
Yeah,
from
we're
the
gonna have
front,
two, so let me get these.
2 feet from the front and 11 feet from the side. I'll make both of those motions.
I'll second both of them.
Yeah, so this one is from the east property line, so from the side.
For the side, Dan Dale,
Approved.
Patty Lingle,
Approved.
Joe Vogel.
Approved.
For the front, Dan Dale,
Approved.
Patty Lingle,
Approved.
Joe Vogel.
Approved.
Here we go, just sometime in the next couple of weeks. Come in and get your permit, you'll be good to go.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, we're not gonna be here tomorrow.
I'm out till Monday.
Okay, good.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have Derek and Kathleen LaCrone. Request a variance from a development standard to allow a residential structure in A1 zoning district without receiving the required points in the factors point system.
Okay, let me find it here.
Find Patty's house.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you, I got you. Okay, here's the property, I'm gonna highlight it here, just south of 800 South, on the west side of State Road, or Old State Road 15. As you can see, the property is partially wooded, about a third wooded, with several different pasture areas here. The LaCrones purchased the property with the understanding from their realtor this is a buildable parcel without going through any other issues. We found out it was Ag 1, could not give them the permit without going through the process, and when we did, as you can see, they only received a minimal amount of points available through the point factor system. So with that, we asked LaCrones to come in and request a variance to be able to use the property for residential purposes. We actually, with our board information and staff report, think this would be a hardship on the LaCrones, since they've already purchased the property and didn't know that this was an issue. It was not disclosed to them at the time of sale. So they had no idea that this was something that they were going to run into. And we think as in the office, we're all for approval of this without any issues. Like I said, it's minimal. If they do take out any kind of Ag 1 use out of this, and without them knowing about it ahead of time, this was not a good deal for them. So purchasing this much land without being divulged that this was in an Ag 1 zone really put them in a bind. So for those reasons, we're okay with the approval through the office, but that's, it's a board decision here, so.
My opinion, it's not Ag 1 ground. And I think we need to look at that more when you guys get, but these things with a creek running through the middle and it's wooded, that's Ag 2. You could have 2 patches. It's not Ag 1. And that's all of acre.
I don't doubt it, but the book.
I know the way it's written now.
Yeah.
Just tell.
Yeah.
Was anything ever farmed there? What was there?
What was
Yeah.
here?
No,
That-
over here. The other one, that part, that blank part there.
down here.
Mhm.
Oh, you mean, is it being farmed
Yeah.
now? Is it being farmed?
No, it hasn't been, the previous owners that purchased it before me never farmed it, so it's just been
Okay.
grass.
Okay, and the same one closer then on the other side of the,
Yep, same thing,
Yeah.
just grass.
This one here, but that being in a floodway and a flood fringe, they would want to try to build there anyways. It would cost them double what they, would, they could. It's all about money when it comes to flood zones. You can do it if you want and pay flood insurance the rest of your life, so. Well, as long as you have a mortgage on it, but that's up to them. Their suggestion, I think, was to place it back here, if I remember right, back in the corner,
So the house would be a little more west, like.
a little further
Yep,
over.
right there, where you can see
Yeah.
the hill, the high ground is.
But be covered by enough of screening that you can't really see it from the road, things like.
I don't have anything else, Dave.
Okay. Anyone in the audience have anything to say about this?
I make a motion to approve it.
second,
We have a motion and a second.
Dan Dale,
Approved?
Patty Lingle,
approved.
Joe Vogel,
Approved. Yeah. You know the height in the world. Yeah, okay, so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck, yeah. Okay, the next on the agenda is Hubert Baker III, requesting a variance from the development standard of the Wabash County zoning ordinance to allow more than one split of land less than 20 acres within a 5-year period on the same parent tract.
Okay, property in question is at 5215 South 700 East. Close to it. The reason for the request here, is anybody here for? O'Brien? Okay. Okay, Mr. Rain. So, the Bakers recently split this property in half. Unfortunate, between the two, the splits, they have sold the piece to the south, which was only 14 acres, along with a 14-acre parcel here. Unbeknownst to Mr. Rank, who owns the property to the north, he has a waterway here that he would really like to clean up and fix up, and he wanted to purchase this area, more or less straightening this line and coming straight back and purchasing this little corner, so that he has this area here that's actually on his property he owns, that he can maintenance and deal with the waterway and clean it up. We obviously don't have an issue with it in our office, but since 2 splits have been done in the last 5 years, or we're literally within the last month or two, it would be required to go through the variance process to ask for an additional split. The one thing that we would ask is that if this is approved, that Mr. Rank, when he surveys the property off, combine that with your 29 acres to make that one parcel, so we also do not have to worry about ingress egress to it or anything else like that. And that way it would not be a buildable parcel. It would be all together with one. That would be the one thing that we would ask for. If not, then we're gonna have to ask you to have some kind of access to it, because it's gonna be a separate parcel, and you're gonna have to have easements and whatever, and it might be just as easy to, hopefully just as easy to combine it all into one. And that way too, it's all one parcel, you're getting one tax statement if it's done that way. And like I said, we don't have an issue with it. Obviously, if they would have been caught before this, they would have probably still needed to come in for the variance, because then they still had 3 splits done. We did initially have an issue that we don't have anymore. I talked to the owner, the owner's sister, who is sort of takes care of the owner, and we thought there was an issue with a possibility of a complaint filed. But that has since been figured out and we're all good with that. So any of the stuff that's in here that would say we want to table this, we're good with it. We've found that out today. So there are no other issues that we see that would keep the board from approving this or not approving it.
You're on board with this? Yeah. I have no issues.
Anybody else in the audience have any comments? I think we're ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Do you wanna make sure he connects it with his correct parcel?
Yeah, we'll combine that with 10.
Second.
Okay, with the motion and
Put that
second,
restriction on.
Condition, that was what I'm looking for.
with the condition that it's combined with their current tract.
Existing 29.061 acres, yeah.
Dan Dale,
Approved.
Patty Lingle,
Approved.
Joe Vogel.
Approved.
Yeah, so it could be done right away.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Well, they didn't actually move that onto the property yet, so. There's a traffic trailer there, but it's not what we thought it was, so we're good. Everything's good. Good, so. I know I hadn't talked to you about that, yeah, I know we talked earlier,
45 today.
yeah, it was late,
That must be not to be told.
Yeah,
it was.
it was.
Yeah, the sister called and talked to us, so everything's good, we got a little squared away, so not a problem at all.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next on the agenda is Trent Schuler. Request a variance from the development standard to place a garage closer to the side and rear to property lines than permitted by zoning ordinance.
Okay.
I got some pictures here for you guys, so you got a better idea. That's okay.
Wow. Thank you.
Sir?
Joe.
Sir?
So the property sits at 4643 North State Road 13, thank you. And as you can see by the information that we gave to the board, we did request some information from the health department. Did we or did Mr. Schuler? I can't remember.
We asked.
We asked for that.
Yeah.
So on page 95, there is a layout of the current sewage area, the septic system on the property. With that, there is not the greatest area on the property to place this other than where he has asked for it in the corner or in the lower southerly portion of the property. When we found this out, we were a little more receptive to the issue, not knowing exactly where the septic was at the time. But now that we know, there really is no other place. Now, if I remember right, so the initial house that was here or house previous to this burned,
Yes,
and this was a new house that was placed here.
this was built in 2019.
Yeah. And so it's newer and he's wanting to put in the garage behind it. But obviously with the conditions of the asking for the variance from the two side properties, the side and the rear property line for that request. Said luckily we were able to find the sewer layout to know exactly where that was, which did help us to decide in the office more or less this would be tough to put it anywhere else other than on the very south end of the property, to stay away from the septic system in the area of the septic. And if you want a garage, you want it as close to the house as you can get it for many purposes, but you know, you need it.
The big waterway that on the south.
On the south end too, yeah.
12-inch tile, it comes in 16 acres. Flow down to that waterway.
the 24-inch culvert.
So did we get?
They are numbered, each one of those pages are numbered, so if you guys,
And we did have one person come in and requesting to see the petition. We showed the petition to that person, which had no objections at the time to the request, so.
so I guess I'm looking at 25 wide by 30. That's on the first page. So that leaves 6 feet behind to the property line. That's not written in stone. I mean, it could be 24 feet wide. It's all about money now, you know, the cost of things. I can't even. It's my mess up, but I can't even get my 3/4 ton truck in the garage I got now. Too short. And I need some storage, shop area, little shop area. The garage I'm gonna put up is gonna be same color siding, same roof, same gable look. It'll look professionally just like house. I'm not just gonna throw a full barn up there.
So the tree that's right there is gone, or you're taking it out?
Yeah, we taking it out,
Taking it
took the
out.
stump out, neighbor took their pine tree out. Got rid of it, got rid of some stumps back behind that big tree that was there. If you look on page 2. Where it says garage, near the dirt thing right there, that used to be a big tree there, took it out. It needed to come out anyways, it was dead.
That's a field right behind you, right?
That's
Look at
owned by
this
Cindy
picture.
Peterson.
It looks like there's an area between the field and your property line. Can you tell that? What is that? There's. Like, you're not gonna be encroaching on that farmer's field at all.
No, absolutely not. Oh, I don't have that picture that you got.
Okay. I'm just going by the terrain. It looks like they farmed several feet away from your property line. On this picture, I don't know where your property line is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Dan, just for context, if you look at the property next.
Well, that's, I'll tell you what that is. That was brush and trees up. Hope you don't care, but I was cleaning all that up and cleaned it out and
Oh, okay.
opened it up and actually, didn't think of his name, one of the Hopper boys, he stopped in, he goes, man, that looks better. But, yeah, I mean, it's all brushy and cleaned up and I got tractor and loader and I cleaned it up.
And to the north, if you look like 4 or 5 properties north, you can see there's a fence back here behind us and it's probably 5 or 6 feet away from it. So I think that property line should actually be further to the east than what's shown on the GIS. So it could just be an illusion there looking at it like that, so.
And it was surveyed in 2021. I just had it resurveyed in October.
Yeah.
Cause I need to know exactly what I couldn't find.
Cause yeah, there's this.
I want to know where my
there's a
survey
big show.
should be.
And your 6 feet is from your survey marks then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, it could be 7 feet. It's not written in stone on how big that building is.
Yeah, good.
But for the width, I got started right up against that patio back there on page 1. And then the sidewalk curves around, which I thought that would work out pretty good. Walk out my garage door and go right to the other garage.
Yeah, that's what it is. We're looking at the survey right now. If you go from the center of the road, they're showing on the GIS 147.58 feet, but that's from the right of way. You add a 40-foot right of way, which is what they're showing on here, it's 187 feet. And that adds about another 5 to 6 feet on the backside of that property from what's being shown on the GIS. So there is additional area back there, it looks like.
I don't have any questions. Any questions from anyone in the audience?
My only, I'm Cindy Peters, which I think everything is messed up in the office in Nashville.
Okay.
And I didn't say whether I had complaints or not. My only concern, and I'm not trying to be
Right, no,
obnoxious at all. My only concern is 6 feet to me seems really close for farm equipment. Is why I was like, oh, maybe I should see what's going on. And so I was saying, if the ordinance says that we should be 13 feet, why are we less than half? And that's getting close to the farm equipment, was my way.
Well, I'm inside the property line. I'm
Right,
inside the property.
But does the ordinance say it's supposed to be 13 feet? What's today's ordinance?
Yeah, I didn't know it was supposed to be 13 feet. That's why I went in there.
Yeah. That was that's when I asked, hey, what's this letter telling me?
Mhm.
And they explained the ordinance says it should be 13 feet from a property line, and it's gonna be pushed back in this corner and be 6 feet from the property line. So my thought is, that's only half of what the ordinance says, or less than half. And that's getting a little close for farm equipment and property.
But there's actually a little more room than 6 feet, right?
Yeah, and I think the old ordinance was 6 feet. I think that for accessory structures, if you would have done this 3 years ago, 6 feet would have been the setback requirement.
So I'm just curious, and this is not for Trent, this is more for the board, why was it changed from 6 to 13?
Well,
Did we see, I mean, were there issues that, or why did it get changed?
I'm assuming there had to be something. I wasn't here when that was done. I started the day the new ordinance was put in place, so that was all prior to me. I can understand the reasons why. Giving everybody a little extra elbow room, especially in the county. We're seeing it everywhere though. You can't hardly do a request for a garage or a shed or anything like that, even in any of the towns, LaGrove, LaFountain, anywhere, without coming in and asking for a variance, and it's even less than that in the residential zones. Because everything's so tight, so.
One of the arguments, I think, for having the 13 feet was to get fire trucks around a structure if there was a fire. That's one that I remember being talked about, but.
But I mean, I know too, so if you've got 6 feet on your side, the only way now with the new ordinance put in place is, here would be the other caveat to this. 13 foot is your side setback now, but he cannot place a structure, or you couldn't place a new structure within 26 feet of his existing structure. You have to be double what his is, even if he's only 6 feet away. So if this is granted and you want to build something on your property, you have to be 20 feet away from your property line and 6 feet then the additional from Mr. Schuler's. You have an aggregate distance of 26 feet between structures now. So you would have to also come in and ask for a variance, but if you wanted to build something, we wouldn't be able to allow you to build something within 26 feet of his structure.
Or you could come in and get a variance.
Exactly.
That's what the variance system allows.
Tell her the fencing requirements. If somebody wants to build a fence, what's that requirement? Right on the property line.
Yeah, there's no difference for that when it comes to fences. It could be right on the property line.
Okay, that was just my question. Yeah.
And it's been somewhat difficult. I mean, you guys all know, you've been in front of them how many times? And it happens a lot within the towns, for the most part. You can hardly get an aggregate distance. You know, if you're on a 50-foot by 130-foot lot in the county or in one of the towns, and you have a garage and your neighbor wants to build a garage, it's gonna be tough to not be within those setbacks. And we've had multiple variance requests for that. But most of it's been in that situation. We don't see it too much in the county, but, you know, it could happen.
Any more questions, comments?
So Cindy, you're okay with that then? I know you have a lot of questions, but you're okay?
I'm okay. He'll play nice. It was just more what's going on and why and, yeah.
We already had a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Now that's, we need two, so
Okay.
we're gonna need one from the north property line, which is the one you have in front of you now.
Mhm.
And then we'll have another one from the east.
I'll make a motion for the north and the east. Separate.
Second.
Didn't I see that? Yeah. This is the north.
The east, Dan Dale,
Approve?
Patty Dingle,
Approved.
Joe Vogel.
Yes.
And then from the north, Dan Dale,
Approve.
Patty Dingle,
Approved.
Joe Vogel.
Yes. Third.
You're good.
Yep, you're done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in.
You want your pictures back?
Don't need it.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
I'll turn it off.
Okay.
Next on the agenda, we got Leon and Agatha Metzger. Joint revocable trust requesting a variance from the development standard of the Wabash County zoning ordinance to allow more than one split of land less than 20 acres within a 5-year period on the same parent tract.
Okay, this is gonna be more like a similar situation we come across. The Meskers own this entire farm. They recently, here in the last just week or so, on the GIS have split this parcel out, this 5.65 acre parcel out. This was an auction that was done, and at the time of the auction, the owner is it Nelda that lives in the house to the south, wanted a little buffer on the property to go around the house. Something similar to this, an extra 3 acres or so to add to this piece. So as to make a little buffer area around it. But with this piece being less than 20 acres, already split out to the north where the farm is, this requires a variance for the split less than 20 acres within a 5-year period. Again, this is one of those, hey, we like to see the larger pieces created actually, so we absolutely have no problem with this. It's going to create more, almost a 5-acre parcel rather than the 2 acres, less than 2 acres that's there now. It's going to be 3.08, I think is the request, that this from the survey work. So, with a 1.97, so it's going to be, quite a large parcel when it's all said and done and be a lot bigger. So the request again is for multiple splits within, and that's what this is. And we did, just so everybody knows, we received more than our share of questions about this property. So we received multiple phone calls from neighbors asking what the request was for. We did have Susie Steffen came in, I think her parents or maybe own the property across the street, requesting information. She had no objections after reviewing the request. The trustee of Mildred Hines called and initially stated her objection. She requested additional information on the request, and once explained, she understood and reversed her opinion and has no objections to the request. So, but we did have multiple other people ask. We told them the situation. This is not a big subdivision. It's not going to be split up into 20 parcels. This was just to add to, and we would request the same thing that we requested from Mr. Ray, that when the 3 acres is put with this, because it would not quite possibly not be a buildable parcel, that they add that piece to the existing parcel to make one 5-acre parcel out of it.
That won't be an issue then?
No, that survey has already been completed and was submitted. It's 5.05 acres once combined. As for the calls in, there was the wonderful small town rumor mill. Somebody said that they were putting up 3 chicken houses on the bulk of the farm, and so all the neighbors were in and up.
We heard the same thing.
Yeah, which obviously is not the case here. Not
neighbor.
Yeah, not what we're asking for at all. And they just want that extra space. And I think, no intention to ever build a home or perhaps an accessory structure down the road, but nothing at this point.
Any questions?
No,
Any questions from anyone here?
now I'd make a motion, we approve it.
With the
condition
with the condition that they
Yeah,
find.
put it together.
Okay.
I'm sure he's already got it done.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Dan Dale,
Approved?
Patty Lingle,
Approved.
Joe Vogel.
Approved. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you all. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Michael J. Reed and J. Edward Reed, Shirley Anderson Trust and Reed Credit Trust, requesting a variance from the development standard of Wabash County zoning ordinance to allow more than one split of land less than 20 acres within a 5-year period on the same parent tract.
Okay, we're gonna. Yes, they're broken record, exactly. As you can see from the information that was given to the board, so more or less, what they have here, 1.59 acres with the existing home here. Got a little jog in it. There used to be a garage here. This driveway used to come up and go through here. They cleaned all this up, separated everything out, and they want to further separate everything. So they want to take this line, take it across over here with this barn, and this structure's gone. Take it over here to get their 200 foot of road frontage. To make this a compliant parcel, come down and do something like this. This piece, this little sliver, combined with the existing parcel here. This piece will go away as far as a separate parcel, and then will be a separate 8.29 acre piece that will have the structures with the farm on it going around the farm, and more or less cleaning everything up. We didn't see an issue with this obviously at all. This is just the same we've been talking about. This is just gonna help clean everything up, take away the need. As you can see, there's been structures built across the property line now, which was gonna go away. This will be, everything here will be compliant, everything will be good. They'll have the correct road frontage, they'll have the correct acreage, and they won't have any setback issues. We don't see a problem with this at all.
That's the same drive that goes back to the farm buildings, will still be used.
Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think the survey has a point.
We're doing all this for estate planning.
Sure. Well, that, roadway, that goes with this new property.
I'm gonna sign off of it, say that it's all right to use that driveway.
That's why I'd recommend, like,
Yeah.
if for some reason she'd move, you get somebody to buy that property up front. And they say, we don't want you using our road because we don't have an easement on the deed. So get an easement and it'll be easy to write up.
Yeah.
It can't, you don't have to put any road. No thing I see. All right.
So it's virtually the same thing, multiple splits, because they're splitting less than 20 for the 8 acres. They're splitting less than 20 for the strip for the driveway out of it. That's the necessitate the 2 splits less than 20 acres on the same parcel. If they didn't, if you wouldn't have done one or the other, we wouldn't need to. This would just be a cleanup and we'd be good with it. But with the 2 splits out of the same piece with less than 20, that's the request for the variance.
I'll make a motion to approve the variance from the subdivision standards to permit more than one parcel split in less than 20 acres within a 5-year period. Now that we're on the last one, I'm gonna say it all.
I would second that
Do
motion.
you wanna put the condition that it, even though it's already on there, but that it be combined with the,
Yeah.
that the new 0.45 be combined with the
Condition
1.19?
Yeah, we're gonna have to, because since it's a standalone piece, we wouldn't allow that to be a separate parcel with the new ordinance requirements. So that 0.45 acres has to go with another piece. So we would need to go with it, and that then also, because the original parcel only had 170 foot of roadway. Now with the other piece next to the driveway, that adds in and makes at least 200 foot of road frontage, which is now a requirement. So they would have everything in place if they do it like the survey is that they have, which I have total. Is it Funnel that's doing it?
Funnel,
Yeah, and we've
yep.
talked to them about it, so, if they have any questions, they can call us,
Actually,
we work with all
grain man on the property line.
Dan Dale,
I approve.
Patty Lingle,
Approved.
and Joe. And there's your people. So the same thing, just others approve, finish. But it must be.
You should have been moving quicker.
If I need a track number off that grain bin at setup, will they have one? Yeah,
a parcel ID number.
there you
And probably, well, that's gonna be a new one.
Will it, or will they put the new parcel ID on the? Farmable parts and these are on there. With the parcel IDs.
This piece, this piece, I don't know.
You know, Dan Gordon, I said, as soon as we get a parcel number on that.
Yeah,
Then we put all that down in an LLC.
we can check then on Monday when we get back in here with the GIS office, because they're the ones that do that. Most of the time, if it's a structure with the residents on it, they're gonna keep that parcel ID with the residents, because that's where that parcel ID number is tied to any of your homestead exemptions or any of that kind of stuff. So the two parcel IDs that are there with the houses are gonna stay there, I could assume. We just don't know if that parcel ID that's with the overall 156 acres is gonna go with the 8 acres. Or they're gonna create a new one. That's what we're not really sure about
I
here.
think the 8 acres, that's why we done what we done, split to separate it from the
Right.
big parcel.
Right, we just don't know. See, sometimes they'll keep them, if there's no residential structure tied to it, but since there are improvements tied to it, my guess is they're gonna use that number that's existing on that, and they'll create a new one for the farm that doesn't have any other improvements on it.
Okay.
That's gonna be my guess, but we wanna verify that before we let you know that.
Okay.
Alright.
Have a good Christmas, everybody.
Okay, you too.
Thanks. And we're down to director's report and complaints update.
Complaints.
I can't complain.
27 active open complaints right now, 12 with legal, 2 with unsafe, for a total of 41 total open complaints at this time. We had 59 rolled over from last year, 43 new in 2025. Out of those, 41 have closed. Reassessments right now, total rolled over from 2024 was 23. Total received in 2025, 47. Out of the 23 that rolled over, we only have 2 of those from 2024 left open. And out of the ones 47 from 2025, we have 13 still open, for a total of 15 reassessments still open. So we're getting ready to send out another set of letters for those. We have 2 or 3 of those we know will come in immediately and take care of them. So we should be down to probably 10, hopefully just after the first of the year with the reassessment letter. So those are anything that we got a letter from the assessor's office when they did a reassessment, more or less saying, hey, we found a structure here that you didn't give us a permit for. And so we go back on with a letter and say, hey, what's going on? Like I said, sometimes we find out that the structure's been there for 15 years and they missed it on their previous assessments. And we just want to get a permit for it, and we don't charge them for it. It just depends on the situation. So we sort of play that by ear. So that's what that is. So
Any other business?
And,
I think we're ready for adjournment.
make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
We got through a lot of business pretty quick.
Yeah.
Too bad.